Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Masterpiece MP-57 Skyfire. Here you can see his box, and the toy's not here because it's all very large. You can see, yes, the box. You can see the two modes he has, or at least the two of the major modes he has, his name and everything, and Transformers, and Takatomi, and Long Life design and all that stuff. On the top, you have Transformers Masterpiece and MP-57 Skyfire, and he's a Cybertron in aviation defense, by the way. On this side, you have, kind of the Gerwalk Mode. Hey, look, he comes with little figures. We'll get into those for sure. And on this side, you have a bit of robot mode. Nice little pose there. And on the bottom, of course, you have copyrights and warnings and all that stuff. And on the back, you have a whole ton of product shots in there. And of course, what's included, and by a little blurb, and yep. There you go. That's the big old box, which it's one of those things that's like, I know it's going to be big, but it's like, I didn't expect it to be this big. Yet it also makes sense for it to be that big. Anyway, he of course includes his instructions, which are largely actually pretty good. I would actually say they're, the only complaint is it's the poster style plus the actual step-by-step are kind of small sometimes. But it's not too bad. And of course you have the bio card, which nice bit of artwork there. See that? In the back you have, bio and tech specs and all that stuff, and he's, pretty good specs all around, except for that one. So we have Masterpiece Skyfire, not Jetfire, Skyfire, and you can see, yep, he is a big old jet thing, and yeah, he's very large. Takes up a large chunk of the real estate on screen. It's a very nice looking thing. He's got kind of that weird, some weirdness, because just the alien design of it, I guess. But anyway, which way, looks great. Zooming in a little bit just for some close up. You can see, of course, nice cockpit, nice translucent blue there. Autobot symbol up there, mostly white all the way down. You got some vent detail stuff, some arrows, legs, red, all the way down. The wings, white and red with red striping, although they're also kind of droopy because the hinge is just there's some tabs there to help hold in place, but it's just simply not strong enough really. So it tends to, droop, unfortunately. You got that blue up here too. You got the white stripe on the red fast pack, I guess you call it. You got the thrusters back here. You have a little thrusting stuff right there. Of course, you got the landing gear, which nice bit of detailing on there, right there. Also rolling wheels and everything too. Same with this one's. Even smaller rolling wheels. And of course the underside, you got all that. Right now you can see the gun stored right there because that's one thing you can do. Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing obviously you can do is the gun here. There's a little rails. There's little tabs right here. And a rail right there. You can just easily just store the gun. So if I can say easily, but as sometimes it gets caught weird and doesn't want to actually go slide in. Also, I just untabbed the leg. Of course, now that the camera's on, doesn't want to. I've got it. Been having an easier time doing this. Oh, there we go. I've been having an easier time doing that. But of course, when the camera's on, fights me. And of course, yeah, the landing gear here, pretty cool. Pretty simple how it just, stores away just like that on that side. Right there. Just, can open that up. Same thing on the right and in the front here. It's dual doors, which every single time I open these, one of them, like the edge of one catches under my fingernail and hurts. Yeah, these you open up like this and you can close that up or open that up. Regardless, pretty straightforward that. Oop, actually undid that. So that's a bunch of stuff there. The wings can adjust a little bit, although the more you pull them out, the more they kind of just don't quite match anymore. So I wouldn't personally. The cockpit here can open, which is cool. Right there. And there's even nice detailing inside there. Of course, That can open, again, more detailing, although there's kind of stair steps because this is kind of more, I guess, for robot mode, maybe? It's kind of weird. And this can open like that, and there you go. There's a bit more detailing inside there. So, and this thing can open. Got a little ramp there, and again, more detailing. This cannot open. Well, you can open this whole thing, but this is not supposed to open in any real way. But this thing can open right here. This part right here, only on the left side, not on the right. This one's also, there we go. Again, more detailing. Can open all that. Get into why that opens in a little bit. But first, a couple accessories. Blast effects. Hard plastic ones, they actually also separate right here in the back, as I discovered. They can separate right here. Also, get stuff in them. There we go. Yeah, separate right there. And yeah. Now you can see a little peg right there. And of course, surprise, surprise, they can peg right in the back here. On the left thruster, it's not super... it's not super tight. This one pegs in just fine. This one, it doesn't take much for it to come out. It will stay if you don't mess with it, but it doesn't take much for it to come out usually. But you know, you got those. You can do the thruster thing if you want. And yeah, he also comes with, you know, because he has all those little nooks and crannies, he comes with minifigures. 3 of them. You can see them right here. Here you go, Wheeljack, Jazz, and Optimus. And you notice, you know, 2 of these guys have Masterpiece figures, 1 does not. And considering, you know, that, you know, they actually got the Porsche license for Rise of the Beast and Mirage, it's not hard to discern possibly that we might get an official MP Jazz soon, maybe? Anyway, looking at the figures individually, you can see Wheeljack here. Yeah, that's a problem right there. Very tiny ball joints. And doesn't take much to pop them off either. They don't exactly, they're not the most stable. You can see, you know, some degree of detail. You can see his, you know, kind of his general color scheme. He's holding his little, I can't remember what they call it, but it's from the Ultimate Doom when they have to free all the human slaves, I guess, because, yeah, the Decepticons enslaved them with the hypno chips. So, yeah. Pretty decent. He's kind of weird because his legs are just bent like that, and you can't bend them any further backwards, but decent. Articulation, they do have articulation a little bit. Head does not move, but ball jointed shoulders, so you got, you know, rotation there and outward. Hinges at the elbows. Decent, you know, decent amount there. At the hips, there's a waist swivel, actually, believe it or not. Hips can go forward and go back about that far, about outward that far, and you have a hinge at the knee. You can bend that much. And that thing right here in his hand, that cannot be removed, so he's always got that. Jazz here, articulation is pretty much the same, but, you know, looks like Jazz. He's got this weird thing, his hands are kind of always like in this position. I don't know why they decided that pose, but whatever. Nicely detailed. You got the little peg in the hole in the back. I believe they all have peg holes in the back. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, we got the whole other thing, the same articulation overall. Looks great. And you got Optimus, which he's a bit bigger. Again, looks good. The only thing is missing a bit of yellow right there on the waist, but looks pretty good overall. There you go. Cool thing about these, yeah, they're minifigures, so they can, you know, be put up all the different places, so you can, you know, open the cockpit. This arm on Jazz or Wheeljack does not like to stay on, unfortunately. But yeah, you can open the cockpit here and pull the arm off again. And the leg, yeah, that's the thing. So also be careful with these because, you know, they're so tiny. It's, you know, it wouldn't be too difficult to, you know, just straight up break it because they are tiny. This is not a material problem. This is very much a size problem. But yeah, you could put them, you know, in the cockpit, or Optimus doesn't really fit in the cockpit. Optimus is big enough that he only really fits in this one, I've noticed. But you can fit him in there. You can leave them in there too. You don't ever have to take them out because of the, you know, nature of things. You don't ever have to take them out. Yeah, and either one of these things, you know, you can, you know, put them in there, sorts. This one is not so much. Yeah, this one of the thrusters came off. Now this one, you kind of, this is for posing, you know, just little pose details, but yeah, for displays. But yeah, get those out of the way. So those are pretty cool. It also is going to show how ridiculous the ridiculous mass shifting involved for Skyfire, considering, you know, this is not how big MP Optimus is, and yet I also remember in that, like, in the Ultimate Doom, like, you know, there's like, you can see, actually, funny enough, the seats, there are 2 seats in there, and I remember in the Ultimate Doom that they had like 2 guys sitting side by side, 2 Autobots sitting side by side in the front cockpit here. So like, yeah, scale is all sorts of, to say the least. So there you go. I'll get to the other accessories in robot mode and all that stuff, but yeah, well, some of the other accessories. There's one other accessory, or 2 other accessories, I guess. And yep, he comes with a flight stand. Comes in 3 parts, of course. You can just, you know, do that, and then, well, this plugs on, like usual. It's orange, which is interesting. Very orange, so I guess Autobot Cybertronian orange, sir. Yeah. It comes with a flight stand, and it comes with this. This is an adapter, so you can actually go on the flight stand. And yeah, to get this on, you got to remove the gun here if it's attached at all, because you can still throw the gun. Now, for this, make sure, let's see, this goes on a specific way, and it's, yeah. See, there's a little notch here in this right here. There's a little notch. This goes to the back. Yeah, just this right here. These 2 tabs right here will go in these slots right there, and just plugs in. Just plug that in right there, and then that notch there is so this part right here can go. This right is for this part of the gun right here, so you can still store this. There's a, which is nice that they did that. You can still store this gun. You just gotta have to. It's just easier to remove it so you can get this on. And then, of course, this right here can just plug on a stand. And they heavily recommend that you just leave it level when you plug it on. Like that. If you don't leave it level, you know, it is heavy. You probably can display it, but like but it's kind of sketchy to do so. I would, yeah, it's coming unplugged, so it's very recommend you just kind of leave that level. But yeah, that's a thing you can do if you want. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, that. Yeah. Gonna remove the gun for now and remove. So yeah. But yep. So and of course you can still, you know, do the whole adjust this stuff, but I just kind of leave it kind of low. You can do the adjustments as you want to, but I leave it low just to help with balance personally. But you can do what you want. You can take your risks with your big expensive figure if you want. I'm not going to. Oh yeah, now real quick comparisons. Hopefully I can get them in frame because yeah, this guy again big. Only gonna do 2 of them. Well, first is you know, MP-52 Starscream, because well, they were buddies. Give you an idea, yeah. Starscream here, you know, quite a bit smaller than Jetfire by a good chunk, you know. By a good chunk there, just you can see big compared to, and that right there likes to not set in all the way. Yep. So yep, you got that comparison. And Siege Jetfire, because a lot of people were using him kind of as a stand-in for MP. And you can see, again, not as much bigger as I thought it would, but still significantly larger. Yeah, still significantly larger than the nose to nose there. You can see there's quite a bit more and more wingspan and all that stuff. Oh, and one other thing I totally forgot about, which is yeah, the flaps can move up and down on the wings. So that's some other another thing you can do with the in this mode. So yep. That's the thing. Flaps. Anyway, so that's pretty much most of the jet modes. Pretty cool looking. It's pretty cool. It's got, quite a few accessories, but of course you can do a couple other things. Namely, he has this okay, so I had to figure out how I want to do this. He has this armed jet mode, which yeah, I'm going to go to that real quick. I did cover that in the transformation video, so I'm just going to go to that real quick and we'll talk about that. There you go. Yeah. Armed mode. Because that one time in the cartoon where he swooped down with his arms out and did the thing. Yeah, you can take the figures and just kind of whoop-de-doo, put it in his hand because yeah, he swooped down and grabbed Autobots or something. Oop, and that just came apart. Yeah, you can do that if you want. I guess that is an official mode. I mean, I guess, and you can use it in conjunction with another mode. I'm gonna put this back to its. That did not. There we go. Didn't put that on all the way. But I'm gonna put this back to its jet mode first because. Technically, while this can be in conjunction with the Gerwalk mode, considering Gerwalk mode usually has arms out anyway, but officially I believe the Gerwalk mode is just the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back, and then we'll continue on. We're going to go back to, I'm going to take it back to jet mode, and then take it to the Gerwalk mode, or yeah, so bear with me. And there you go. That's the Gerwalk mode. you get there from, you know, you kind of have to transform, you know, really some of the transformation to robot anyway to get here. So this is just kind of you can do this in between, but yeah, it's kind of neat. You know, it's that one time in the cartoon he transformed kind of like this, but also kind of does help pay homage to, well, the fact that, you know, the Jetfire toy came from, you know, Macross. So that's a thing you can do. There you go. All right, so that's the Gerwalk. So we're going to go ahead and go the rest of the way to robot mode, and we'll talk about that and a bunch of other stuff. So here you go. Okay, so MP Jetfire here. He is, well, he's quite large. You can see, yeah, he's actually quite a cartoon accurate, you know, for better or for worse. He is very close to the cartoon. You can see, you know, all this stuff there. His backpack compresses really nicely too and everything. You can see all that stuff. And getting in close, you can see his face. His face sculpt is kind of odd looking, but, you know, it is kind of a little goofy, but that kind of makes sense. He was never really supposed to be a fighter. He was always supposed to be, you know, a scientist. So you got all that stuff. You got, you know, the whites and a little bit of red, the Autobot symbol, you know, the venting, the blue, all that stuff, the red there, and the pretty much just mostly whites and reds with bits of gunmetal and stuff. His feet right there and all that stuff. Again, the backpack, just the red and white with a bit of blue there for the cockpit. And all that stuff. It's pretty well done. One thing I want to mention is, yeah, the feet. For whatever reason, the left foot doesn't always like to come out properly. And this time I got it, but yeah, sometimes the left foot specifically just does not like to extend out all the way. Something about it catches on something, and it's like I have to sometimes wiggle it back and forth and kind of like push on like inside here, like kind of push on this part and eventually clear whatever that's catching on and work. But yeah, just something you need to be aware of with that foot. Yeah, overall looks real nice. Of course, his gun here can fold this handle out right there, and you can hold it in either hand. Just, you know, once again, just the usual Masterpiece tab, you know, tab and slot stuff. So just get that in this hand and make sure fingers clear that, and it actually tabs in pretty securely on mine, so that's nice. You know, holds his gun nice and secure. So you can do all the sorts of stuff with that. The place you can actually put it is something I actually forgot to mention about the vehicle mode. It works the same regardless, but up here on the backpack here, you can push this part in and spin this around. And yeah, that really exposes this little port, which you can, then there's a peg right here on the gun. You can, you know, in the jet mode, you can, you know, kind of peg it in there. In this mode, you can peg it in like this, and there you go. It works the same either way. I just kind of forgot. I kind of totally spaced on that thing being a thing at all. But yeah, it's a thing you can use if you want. So that's one thing. Yeah, pretty cool that. Want to see how, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. Couple of parts he has. He has swappable plates for the symbols. You got, of course, the Decepticon one, because, you know, when he ran in that first episode he showed up, he was all he was brought in by the Decepticons. He also got a blank one, which, you know, if you just don't want a symbol there, or, you know, you're trying to do a specific thing, it's really easy to swap. Just, you know, pull this out, slide this up, and, you know, bam. Simple. Real easy. Nice way to do things. Another cool thing he has right here is that you can lift his head crest up and you can see a little bit there on his head. That's just like, I think that was when they first revived him. I want to say you can do that if you want. That's kind of cool. That first revival. You can still, you know, kind of store away, you know, figures in him if you want. Those are still pretty much mostly all accessible except for that one that's was in the bottom of the jet mode. That one's buried in his chest now. Yeah. That's the thing you can do. Let's see. Head, though. The head, you got swappable faces, which is, it's pretty straightforward. You just, you know, use these hinges so you get your, you know, finger either there or whatever, and yeah, it just pegs in, and the only thing is like getting the leverage so you can pull this out. But it just pegs in. It's a big peg too. You can see that. It's a big old peg, and just, you got two swappable faces. He's got his I guess got a shouty face, I guess, and you have a smiling face. And those are just, you know, both just peg in like that, and there you go, like so. And that's, you know, most accessories. A couple. Well, there's one other one, which is a mask. There's a little mask accessory, you know, make him look more like Jetfire. And the thing is, it uses a magnet. There's a magnet here and a magnet in there, and you're supposed to just kind of put it on over the face. And the problem is, you can see it's not a strong enough magnet to work with the face. However, I've noticed, and other people have too, which is you just, well, pull the face off. Again, trying to get in there. Pull the face off entirely, and now the magnet, which is, I believe, is in the giant peg there, if I can actually get it on there right, is much stronger, and it holds much better overall. So I would recommend, if you're going to use this face, just go ahead and just remove the mask there. Just remove the face entirely. Makes it much better, hold much better. And cool, because this thing, you know, you got this whole Jetfire thing or / Macross thing, you know, you just do that, you know, you can just kind of swap this around. And this is undocumented, by the way, but it's just a cool thing, which, you know, coming back here to the backpack, you know, to make it look a little more Macrossy, you can, you know, untab this bit and bring this out, and then untab the sides of the backpack from each other and split them back outward like so. And then you can go ahead and bring this back forward like this and tab it back in. Make sure to get caught on this stuff. Tab it back in like so. Make sure. Just tab that back in. Of course, this thing doesn't like to. Make sure you have to tab it all the way extended, or else it's going to fight you. Yeah, sometimes when it's like this, sometimes it just does not want to, the window does not like to tab in all the way. I do not know why it's like this, but it's just like this for some reason. There you go, got that tabbed in. Tab that in. Now, hey, look, it's a little more closer to Macross in general. No Autobot symbol. And the cool thing is, because there's a thing in Macross, I've seen the screen caps, which is the gun they use, which, you know, very much Jetfire or Skyfire kind of is based off. They kind of can have them mounted on the arm, and there's actually specific slots on the forearms, so you can mount it the way they have it in the old Macross stuff. And now you got a Macross homage, and that is really cool that you can do that. It is completely undocumented. They don't even mention these slots at all in the forearms, but you can totally do more of a Macross type of thing. And there you go. I think that's really cool. I'm not sure. I thought about displaying them like this just because that just kind of looks cool. Even though, yeah. So you can do that if you want. But the other thing is I'm going to be back here fixing this up anyway. Which is, well, back here in the, I guess this thing, there's a tray here which you can actually put the excess stuff or the extra accessories. So I'm going to take that mask off and put his normal face back on. And switch this back out for the Autobot one. Now, back here, there's actually space here to store stuff. The pretty much most of accessories except for the blast effects, the little dudes, and his gun. But you can take these extra bits here and let's see, where are they? Yeah, you want to put them in sideways like this, I believe. Yeah, make sure they are slightly they're not quite perfect squares. You want to make it so they're the wider ends in the inside, and these just kind of clip in right here. So swap them around, see if that helps at all for some reason. You never know. There it goes. Now it goes in. There we go. Actually, those can go in there like that, and the faces, there's pegs here, which just put the faces in here like so, and then this right here, there's a clip right there which can clip onto the bottom of the mask, and it's not a very good clip, mind you. Yeah, and then you can just, store everything away in there. The only thing is, when you do that, I've noticed the backpack likes to not tab in. You have to kind of really force it. There's definitely it's like we're talking about like micrometers of like extra pressure here, so that kind of makes it so this doesn't want to tab in as well. But you can store it. I would probably recommend though just kind of putting all those accessories back in the box instead of storing them in the backpack. But you can if you want. So just an FYI, I'm just going to leave them there for the rest of this review. But all right, so yeah, you could also take the blast effects and plug them to the gun like this. It just goes in pretty simple. But unfortunately, you can't actually plug in both of them at once. The problem is the blast effects are far too wide to actually go both in at the same time. What you're going to do is just bend the gun barrel and have weird things like that. So it's just a thing to know. But I can only do one at a time. Anyway, where was I? Oh, right. So articulation, I guess, now that we've done the that stuff, articulation is actually pretty good for the most part. There's one little problem. Head, you got left and right, up and down on this separate hinge. You kind of get a little bit of waggle thanks to there's a weird hinge in there. It's a whole system, but yeah, you get a lot of waggle, and it's not a ball joint though, so you get left and right and up and down, and you can adjust that as you need to. So you got that. Shoulders, ratcheted, full rotation right there. You got outward, and of course you can start unclipping stuff if you really want outward. And also unclip this if you want butterflies. Butterfly joint. Bicep swivel right there. Elbow, no ratchet, but, it curls up full curl because that's how it's engineered, so that's nice. Hands, you do have a swivel and a hinge, so those are things. And the thumb has two hinges, one at the base and one at the mid knuckle right there. And the hands, well, they're not, like a lot of them, but they do have, let's see, 2 points of curl on each knuckle. They're all individual. Each point has two hinges. So that's pretty nice, although I just kind of wish the thumb was on a ball joint. But because it stands, it's that weird angled hinge they like to do. But it's not the end of the world, but it is a little disappointing. Down here at the waist, unfortunately, there is no waist swivel because of how it transforms, namely because this cockpit makes it difficult. But he does kind of have a pseudo ab crunch if you use the extra joints there. You can have a bit of an ab crunch of sorts. It's a weird one, though, but he has one. Kind of. It's a weird thing. But he also has hips that themselves can go forward that far. Again, nice ratchets. Back that far. Outward. This hip skirt can get out of the way, so you got full splits there. You do have a thigh rotation. That's kind of limited there, but, you know, enough for decent poses. Knees. You got that much curl, which good amount of visibility there. And also it exposes some kind of cool little detailing, like actual detailing in there, which is, again, kind of cool. And down to the feet, his feet can be a little annoying sometimes because you do have ankle tilt, but like the ratchets kind of fights against these bits right here, and so you got ankle tilt about that much, and very clicky forward back ratchet thing. If you want, you could use the Gerwalk extension to get a little bit more either both ways, and including and kind of free up that. So, and of course, again, the heel can go up and down if you need that for support reasons. So that is articulation. Sometimes the backpack acts on the clip itself, but not too hard to, particularly when you, see, this came undone with all that stuff in there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it. But yeah, having this stuff in there just kind of tends to make the backpack not work as well. I have very much noticed that, so yeah, I'm just going to leave these in the box rather than store them away. It's a cool idea, but didn't quite work, I think, the way they're hoping it would. Yeah, it just stays in place much better without those. But anyway, comparisons. Putting back here. Putting back even further. There you go. Putting back there, and course. Here's a Starscream, MP-52, significantly taller than him, which makes sense. I just put an MP-49 because, yep. Again, significantly taller, but not as much taller, so, you know, he's a little above the waist. I just realized that's, there you go. And finally, here he is with Siege Jetfire, who, yeah, he's a bit taller than him, but not that much taller. Yeah, it's not that bad. I also know, I don't have him, but the Fans Toys Phoenix, one of the other options for MP Skyfire, is I think a little bit taller, like at the head. I think it's like a half a head or full head tall. I don't remember. It's somewhere, it's a bit taller, so like somewhere like there at the head, so it's not that much bigger. But yeah. So that is Masterpiece Skyfire. I really like it. It's a nice, big, chunky guy. His transformation is actually, for the most part, pretty smooth. There's only a couple spots which might be annoying, namely getting the arms clear of everything, and the backpack getting situated can be a little bit of a pain if you don't know what you're doing. But hopefully my transformation video helped with that if you watched it. But yeah, he's got a pretty accurate jet mode. It's kind of that weird, goofy Cybertronian, like there's weird things going on with it, but it still generally works and looks like the show. Yeah, there's that. His robot mode, I think it looks great. The only thing, the face is a little goofy looking, but it's, again, for me, it's like he's a scientist, so, you know, he's not a battle-hardened warrior or anything. So the goofy face kind of, I'm okay with it generally. But I think he looks great in robot mode as well. I just generally really like it. The only thing, kind of can really make me complain about is, you know, the lack of a waist swivel. But articulation-wise, yeah, he's got pretty much most of what you kind of expect and then some from a modern-day masterpiece. Again, the waist swivel being the one exception. But it kind of stinks, but it's not the worst thing. I have, we've all dealt with the figures of like, oh, then no waste over here, but I think it works. He works overall pretty well. And the accessories, there's enough there to make, give you some stuff options, but not so many. Just like, we have that feeling of just there's so many accessories. Just like, okay, enough. It doesn't have that. It's just enough accessories. And he's got the little tiny dudes, which are really cool. Actually, I really like the little dudes. For the jet mode and everything. So, yeah. He also, the thing is, he was a Takara Tomy Mall exclusive, so likely you're not going to get him for anything less than, retail price for, I bought it from Chosen Prime, and pretty much every US retailer is going to be like this, about $270, just shy of that, about $268, $270, somewhere around there, before shipping or anything, if the place you buy from charges shipping on top of it. Yeah, he's kind of on the spendy side, but he is also, as you saw, pretty big. So $270. He's a big guy. He's got a nice finish. He transforms pretty well. He's got a lot of accessories. So I think he really justifies that price. I know it's a bit high, but I think he justifies it overall. He's a lot of fun. The Macross stuff, their homages are in there, are pretty great too. Yeah, if you're into Masterpiece, I highly recommend picking this guy up. Unless you just already have a Fans Toys Phoenix and you really just like that one guy more, which fair enough. Your prerogative. Fair enough, but I just think he's fun, wonderful, and worth checking out if you're in the Masterpiece line. And yeah, he's just a lot of fun. And there you go. So that's it for this one. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope that come and subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my cohost.org/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee Man Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.